haters will say I've been gone for a month. Haters might be right. I'm sorry about that. I do have a series of decent excuses though. But before I get into that, as usual, I just want to say thank you for being here. Regardless of if this is your first time or your however many videos I have out now, that amount of times, I'm grateful that you're here, and thank you for listening to me and, taking time out of your day to be here. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. So, yeah, it's been a month now, which is partially my bad. I hit the crazy get sick for like a week, travel for like a week while still kind of sort of sick. I survived. And then come back home for like a few days max. There's a hair on the mic. Be sick throughout all of that, and then travel again for a few days. And now we're back here. I'm finally home. I'm finally mostly healthy. There's also some unfortunate personal stuff in between there, but nevertheless, I am here. We're all good. Yeah, and I'm here to ramble at you for however long I feel like rambling tonight. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much my thing now. I'll just ramble until I get tired of it. Or you get tired of me and click off. Two can play that game. But yeah, I was in Brazil for like week and a half, something like that. My first time ever there. If I have somebody from Brazil watching this video, I love your country. At the time of my little life, it was, can you hear my stomach? At the time of my little life, it was so much fun just running around. I was in Sao Paulo, which is, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the largest city in the Western Hemisphere. Somebody told me that. Maybe they were lying. It was a ton of fun. Ran around, tried a lot of new food, which is truthfully like half of tourism for me. Just trying a bunch of new food. And then, explored all the landmarks and spent some good time with friends. I traveled with a good couple newer friends, and then my best friend, whom I've known since 2018, since when I moved back to the US. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. We also went clubbing a bit, more than a bit, which is normally not really my scene. I don't even drink or do anything like that, so doesn't exactly match up. But I had a ton of fun regardless. Just being around my friends and spending time with, and also meeting a bunch of new people, because everyone was super incredibly friendly, despite my very broken Portuguese that doesn't even begin to describe how poor and basic my Portuguese is. But I survived. I made it there, I made it back, I made it around, so, there's a lot of Google Translate and giving confused / forlorn looks to my Brazilian friends, but we made it. And then, came back, got sick again. I blame my friend for that one, but, it is what it is. And then I was back home where I'm from, seeing family for a few days. I'm probably gonna have to cut that out. I just punched my laptop accidentally. My bad. Anyway, I was back home. Back where I'm from, because technically home is here. I'm still in the stage of getting that mixed up. But anyway, my younger sister, she graduated, so went back to celebrate her, sit through a very long ceremony, but happy for her. And then I think I've maybe mentioned this before, but my family is moving away from that house and that area pretty soon here. So it was there's a big party. Big party, half for going away for my family, and I guess partially kind of me, but I already moved away, it's weird. And then half for my sister's graduation, so a bunch of people, many of whom I did not really know all that well, but, that's what it is. I don't know all my sister's friends or my parents' friends or whatever, but yeah, it was a really good time. I really need to stop clearing my throat. It's a terrible habit I still haven't learned after however many months of making videos. I'm sorry. One of these days I'll learn. It was, also a little bittersweet, right? Because I saw many of my friends I can't even call it my hometown because I moved around so much, but just for the purpose of simplicity, hometown friends. I don't really have a hometown if we're being honest, but hometown friends. I kind of knew that I was seeing a lot of them for the last time, and for some time. Definitely going to be a bit. I choose to believe I'll see them again. I know probably some I won't, but hopefully I'll get to see some of them again, at least most of them. I had I think I've touched on this before, but I moved around a ton, which, pros and cons. I wouldn't have it any other way at this point. I think it's kind of made me who I am and taught me a lot of things about, about the world, and not not to get too soapboxy or too preachy, but if you ever get the chance to move away from your hometown or spend some time abroad or just in a drastically different place, absolutely do it. It is such a wonderful experience. But I also kind of I also kind of said goodbye to that house, which was weird. I've never been all that attached, just given how much I've moved around and lived in so many houses, but still it was, I had the moment of like, wow, I'm never gonna be back here again. So, but it was a good time. I feel as if I was gonna take that another direction, and now I can't remember. Yeah, man. Well, what else can I rant to you about before I eventually remember that, like 10 minutes down the line or whatever? I mentioned this in the last last video. I saw Okelu. I have confirmed that it's supposed to be Okelu, but I'm so habituated to saying it the wrong way that it's just kind of, it is what it is. So Okelu live. I've been to a lot of concerts in my time. Genuinely, probably the best. If not very much up there. I had such an amazing time. Just the sound design and lighting and it was amazing. And hearing everything live was really cool, of course, but especially the song called "What's Good." It's really quite a sad song. It's about like sorry. It's essentially about like the fading of a relationship and just like feeling like you're going through the motions, or that's not there anymore. But anyway, very sad song. But very beautiful, and very, very beautiful to hear live. Yeah, that one hit. What else have I done recently? What was I? Oh yeah, actually, you know what? I can't think of. Sadly, I can't think of much that I've done recently, which is probably not a good sign. I swear I do things, but of course, I just can't think of it. But I'll give you a little bit more like just unwarranted lore dump on how I grew up and what life looked like, because I have you as a captive audience, and unless you really decide you hate this, you gotta sit through it. So so you're hearing about me whether you like it or not. But yeah, like I mentioned, I moved around a ton when I was growing up. I think the longest I've ever lived in one place is like 6 years, I want to say. So that was always, again, for better or for worse, like a very, very integral part of my childhood / teen years / I guess early adult life now. Sometimes it felt like, maybe, is this relaxing? I'm just gonna get like deep into my psychology or whatever. Alright, well, you're in for it. Where was I? I also I grew up being very shy. I kind of like I kind of get away with it because of an imposing figure, I guess. I'm pretty tall, and obviously have a deep voice, so like people kind of assume I'm just like intimidating rather than shy, I guess. I don't know. See, I was smart enough to turn away for the third time, so I've learned a new trick. So anyway, I've always been, well, not always, but for a lot of my life I've been working on it recently. But growing up I was super shy, and like I said, I kind of got away with it because people just assumed otherwise. But no, I'm just very shy. I was very shy. Like I didn't really like to talk, and I mean, even I've come a long way. I wouldn't have done this like a year or two ago. But where was I? Yeah, so I grew up very shy, which I've said for like the 5th time now. So it was doubly jarring when we moved across the country or across the world. I always moved with family, so that was nice at least. Up until recently. So it was doubly jarring when we moved, and then I'm at a new school, and I don't know anybody, and I don't want to talk to people. And, terrified of sticking out or being just like being perceived, never liked that. So it was always kind of trial by fire, and it always take me a bit to just get comfortable talking to people and make some actual friends, and then sometimes it would feel as if like I'd finally make my friends or get settled into a place, and then wouldn't you believe it, we're moving again. And then I'm saying goodbye to everyone. I'm not making this sound terribly positive, but but I promise it is a good experience, and again, I wouldn't have it any other way, despite it kind of sucking short term. But on the bright side, I got to meet so many interesting, cool people whom I wouldn't have otherwise. And sorry, I'm still a little stuffy, so you'll have to bear with me. Yeah, I also lived. I'm American, right? Which is probably pretty obvious, but I also lived outside of the US for a little while, in London, and got the chance to go to like an international school there, and literally met people from more countries than I can name. And that's not just because I'm a dumb American. It's partially, but but got to meet a lot of really cool people who are also like all the way around the world now, or all around the world now. Excuse me. And I've also had some weird, I shouldn't say weird, but like both gratifying and surreal experiences. Like it's been 8 years. Yeah, it's been 8 years, 7-8 years. Where I hadn't, seen somebody in like 7 or 8 years, and then we just so happened to be in the same place at the same time, or like, quick, like 2-hour drive away or something like that. So I've seen recently like 3 old friends from that time of my life, after 7-8 years, one of whom literally lives like 10-15 minutes from me now, which is insane. So I didn't even realize at the time, but like that, having lived abroad so many years ago, is still like, still having positive effects, because I got friends everywhere now. That's exaggeration, of course, but it is cool. Yeah, and just getting to explore the world, and I don't know. I'm just getting preachy at this point, so I apologize for that. But yeah, those are some of the positives of being forcibly moved around for the majority of your life. But yeah, also like you kind of, at least in my experience, you kind of get, it's weird to say, but you kind of get good at moving at some point. Like it's not even that big of a deal. It's just like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm uprooting my life again. But yeah, good times. And I slowly, as in like over the frame of decades, really, overcame, I guess, not decades plural, but over a very long time, many years, I slowly came out of my shell, with like just with socializing and being able to make conversation and not being absolutely terrified of being perceived or coming off weird or whatever. And that's still very much a work in progress. Like I mentioned, like I still can be pretty shy, and I think some of that is just naturally me. Like I don't ever expect to be an extrovert or anything like that, but I have gotten to the point where I can kind of switch it on if I really want to, if I'm really feeling it, right? And that's obviously helpful for making friends and not, well, I would go some moves, of course some were easier than others, that's just how it goes, but particularly, gotta say that right, the move back to the US, ironically, it was kind of a culture shock, which you may be thinking, wait, aren't you American? How could, I don't know, but it was weird, and that took me, it was also in the middle of high school, which, never helps. What good thing happens in the middle of high school? But it took me quite a while to like find my group, and I really went, this is so like terrible to say, but probably went like months without like meaningful social contact, at least like in person. Keep in touch with old friends, but it's not quite the same when you're 6 hours time difference and talking on the phone or whatever. But yeah, back then I can't believe I did that. Like, apparently that was preferable to just like talking with some people. Getting over my fears. But anyway, this is just I apologize for this just becoming a impromptu like therapy session. I swear, I'm fine. Don't worry. But but yeah, I was an awkward kid, man. I'm still kind of an awkward adult, but that's all good. Working on it. Made a lot of progress. Yeah. What else to talk about? What what else can I, from my psyche, can I just dump into this? Let me pick something lighter, so this isn't, at least we'll have calming stuff on the bookends. I would actually be... I'm dying here, guys. I would actually be interested to hear if you genuinely find that that being just me ranting about more personal stuff. Is that actually relaxing / interesting, or is it just like stressful? or like, what is this? What is this dude even talking about? Just go back to talking about nothing. But I'm looking forward to having, well, I'm gonna have some friends over this weekend. Gonna cook dinner for them all. Have a little dinner party, which has been like, something I've wanted to do in the back of my head for months now. So looking forward to that. They're really wonderful people, and I'm super lucky to have met them. I recently moved again, so I guess it's been some months now, but anyway, kind of the cool new people that I've met since I moved, so get to spend time with them and have share dinner, show my love by cooking something nice. I also have a couple friends who are like, not a couple old friends, who are not moving to my area, but they're spending like a month-ish here, because of stuff. So looking forward to spending some time with them. Yeah, I got it. But it is also like, I guess we're back to psychological stuff, so enjoy. I feel some level of like guilt. Maybe guilt's not the right word, but I feel like I could do better with keeping in touch with people, because I make friends and then move away, and it's hard to as hard as you may try, it's just not the same as being in being face to face, being constantly reminded of them as you see them, and being able to spend like more natural time together, I guess. Like, it doesn't take as much scheduling and like, oh, are you free, blah blah blah. It's like, oh, sorry, something came up. It's just more natural when you're in person. So I feel some level of like guilt, because inevitably when I move away, I don't spend as much time with a friend whom I used to be in person with. And then, I'll realize, like, some people, it'll be like 3 years pass. I'm like, oh, I haven't texted you or like kept up at all. My bad. But also the logical side of me knows that like that wasn't a burp, by the way, I swear. That was just me trailing off. touch with everyone all the time, and I don't even, if we're being honest, I don't even really enjoy texting that much, save for like pretty rare cases, or that special friend or whatever. So unfortunately you just kind of drift, and then optimistically, you reconnect and get dinner after 8 years, and are, feels so strange to see the same person, but way later in life. But yeah, I feel like this has gone on for quite a while, so you get the bonus long video as an apology, for how absent I have been. Again, sorry. Let's see. Oh yeah, I was thinking this will take a lot more, relatively speaking, because I basically put zero production value. I shouldn't say that. Very little production value into this. I just prop up my phone and press record. But I was considering, I'd be interested to hear opinions on this, good or bad. I was considering doing basically like a nerd out talk. I am a computer nerd. Through and through. Have been ever since, I don't know, since they made the mistake of giving me a computer, basically. So I was thinking of doing like a, boring you to sleep type deal, because I could talk for hours explaining. I was thinking maybe like, maybe networking or something like that. Or maybe just fundamentally explaining how a computer works, or how a programming language works, or something like that. So I don't know. Again, I would have to actually plan, which, not really my thing. And I guess I need some way to record twice if I'm like drawing stuff out, and then you can also still see me. I don't know. Maybe I need a whiteboard. I don't have a whiteboard. But anyway, would you be interested either in the topic or in just me boring you to sleep by rambling for hours about technical topics that you probably won't fully grasp because I'll move way too fast? Or would you rather I just talk at you, ramble at you, and you don't have to worry about the stress of feeling like you're in a classroom again? So anyway, something to think about. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. If you made it this far, let me know either. Whoops. Let me know either something that has made you happy, brought you joy recently, or something that you are looking forward to. And whether you agree or disagree with all of my insane/inane ramblings, of which there were many. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. I apologize for taking my sweet time again. I can mostly excuse it, but partially just me being lazy. So sorry about that. I hope you have a wonderful night, or afternoon, or morning, or whatever else it is where you are. I hope that hope everything is peaceful in your little corner of the world, and if it's not, trust that it will be soon. So, have a nice night.